Please join me for pledging this.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Father in heaven, we're thankful for all of our many blessings. We're thankful that we were able to travel here in safety and good roads. We are thankful for the beautiful moisture that we've received. We're thankful for the beauties that surround us here in Fremont County. We're thankful for our residents and those people that help our communities and help us to grow and to prosper here in this land. We're thankful for these things. We ask thee to bless our first responders. We ask thee that we help people be mindful of their surroundings as they celebrate this coming 4th of July celebration of our country. And we ask for you to help us to have safety and be mindful of the safety both for the celebration and on our highways. And we ask you to be with us at this time and in our meeting and help us to do the best that we can possibly do for our citizens here in Fremont County and the state of Wyoming and our country. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Agenda.
2020, Brian Mealy will be here to discuss the 4th of July fireworks.
Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I saw there in the notes that the half cent money for the kitchen at the new hospital can we make that in our motion here and said that to be approved?
We'll do that in priority.
Okay.
Agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as noted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with changes. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We have some bills to be approved.
Move for approval, bills.
Been moved and seconded to approve payment of those bills. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We have no Title 25. Signature file.
Chairman, we have, first of all, we have the extension of ground ambulance agreement between Fremont County government and Fremont Frontier Ambulance. Do you hold this for anything, or do you want me to go ahead and?
Go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, make a motion to approve this extension of ground ambulance service agreement between Fremont County government and Frontier Ambulance.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further discussion. I will say that is from July 1st through October 1st only. That. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Next, we have the MOU, Information System Consultant with Kevin Schultz. And this is between Kevin Schultz and Fremont County Government for the information software consultant. MOU.
Mr. Chairman, that's on the agenda for 11:15. If you want me to talk at that time about it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. We're going from 11:15.
Hold up. And then this one will be the 10:45 would be the annual compensation agreement and chance to talk about that at 10:45.
Okay.
And records of proceedings.
Alright.
Hey, Mr. Chairman. We received correspondence from the Secretary of Interior that for the year 2026, we'll receive $4,246,176 for payments in lieu of taxes. We received a letter from Court McGuffey thanking us for the $400,000 that we voted on and Half-Cent Development. So just a brief description as to that the funds will go towards implementing the kitchen portion, the dietary portion of the hospital.
Mr. Chair, did we up that to 500,000 there? They have $800,000 to finish it up. And I would just, if it would be approved by the board.
So
To put a thousand with that.
let's have that discussion when we have our budget work session at 11:30.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
the economic fund, development fund discussion is this. Remember, we talked about that and the ambulance and some other things. This is kind of the budget hearing for the economic development. That's when we were gonna talk about this, and we have not approved that. There is no
Right.
motion on that.
Right. We have.
Well, it said thank you for the approval, and it's not been approved. Okay.
I knew we hadn't approved it.
We wanted public.
Yeah.
To have that.
Thanks for clarifying.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further?
Yes, so we have the county clerk proposal for use of funding for that grant. Did you want to speak to that, Julie?
Mr. Chairman, this is that money that we are getting from the state legislature on the Homeland Security information that we have to send to the Homeland Security. So an update on that, first of all, before I say that, is we still are not compliant. I did check on that. I am working with Tyler to make us compliant. Our program is not working like it's supposed to. The Homeland Security doesn't tell me that we're still not compliant, so I have to do all the questioning if we are or not. So I'm still working on that. Did mention to Tyler, I do have money to fix it if that's what it takes from this $10,000. But my plan was, I think it says in there that if I need to do an update to the Tyler program, then that's what that money will be used for. It could be used for just as a revenue showing that we have people in our office that have to do that work. Or it's going to cost me overtime because I am also not up to date with the 3-4 people I have over there right now. They are just been busier than heck. And so we are not 2 weeks compliant. We have to be 2 weeks compliant. We're like 20 days out for all of our stuff. So there's gonna have to be some overtime after the 4th that we're gonna have to pay. And so if that money is acceptable to them, they don't, I have no idea if they'll accept this or not. That's my plan. So those are the two things I possibly could use a little bit of money for.
Mr. Chairman, question, Julie. So are you wanting us to sign this agreement just to show them we're all in, or?
No, this, remember you signed the agreement that we could have the money. Then my job was to ask for the money with a plan. I did send it. I wanted you to have a copy of what I asked for.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know when I'll hear from them.
All right.
I have no idea.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And the last item, Mr. Chairman, is the Joy Natsu Healing Center presents Community Healing Opioid Summit, September 24th and 25th, located at Central Wyoming College. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Public comment. Chris Radke. You will introduce yourself, please.
Yes, certainly. My name is Chris Rodkey. I live in Pavilion. Thank you for the time, Mr. Chairman, commissioners. Got two items. You may be able to stop me on the second, depending on how this session will be run. On June 9th, Karen Wetzel and I presented suggestions for improving public engagement and transparency of information. Seeing that our electronic file sent to the commission describing those things is not uploaded on your website. I don't see any documents that are going to be covered today on some very critical items uploaded. I'm here to make comment again and urge the commission to approve and implement at least some of the more simple and basic suggestions that we made.
I believe we do. Didn't we tell you that we would work on that after a budget? I believe we did, and our budget's on done.
Okay. Not even the simple stuff. You've got, and I
You
know this is.
you don't realize what the hours we put in for the budgets, whether in session personally and facts and figures and conversations with Julie, conversations with department heads, conversations with whoever else. I mean, it's not like we come here and we work on budgets and then we go home and smoke cigarettes and drink a beer. And I mean, if personally, if I work 40 to 50 hours a week doing this, I don't just come here to the meeting and leave. So I mean, I'm very busy with other stuff pertains to the county. We said we would get to it, we would address it. So we will.
Okay.
The second one,
You've got an agenda item today to approve a budget for an organization for WRTA that is subject to the 3/4% initiative coming up in August. That whole thing is a lot of money, it's a lot of impact. That budget, that proposed budget is available, was available yesterday, has not been disseminated to the public. We're concerned that these are easy steps. I understand you're working hard. I get it. I did it my whole life too. But these are important things. And so the second part is, will there be a comment period today on agenda items prior to votes? And if not, it's simple. I'll spend another 20 seconds here and give you my comments on the WRTA.
okay. Go
Sorry,
ahead, 20
okay,
seconds.
now or
Yeah.
later.
No.
So we have attempted, the first comment is, have you or are you going to look at line item detail for that budget? I'm assuming not, because you've got people that you put responsibility to do that and create these things and bring you the summary. We've asked for that line item detail, knowing these reviews are coming, and have not received that information. We'd urge you to ask for that information to be disseminated prior to a final vote. That information is available today. Otherwise, they couldn't have rolled up the summary for you. So that's the concern and the request that that information be available.
Okay, thank you. Tara. Oh, Tara Berg. You didn't fill out the form.
Well, Mr. Chairman,
So, you know how many terrorists there are in the US?
no. No, but they aren't all dealing with what we're dealing with in Fremont County. Mr. Chairman, really quick, I'm wondering, I have three things to talk about. It will take longer than 2 minutes. I'm wondering if you want me on the agenda today. What I want to give you is the state board's update on where we're at with that for our evaluation certification. If you would like me further, if you'd like me to give it quickly right now, the other two things can wait. Other than Schneider will go live tomorrow, our new GIS program will go live tomorrow. You'll be getting phone calls about that.
Let's do the update real quick.
So, Mr. Chairman, with the county email being down, this took me by surprise this morning. Luckily, one of my assessors sent it to me. I thought we were good. We had the hearing on June 29th with the district court judge in Laramie County. He put an order of stay basically on the state board that said, you have to certify these values. You don't have the authority to not certify these values. So there's another hearing scheduled for July 6th with that same judge. That will be more of a full hearing with evidentiary things exchanged. The Attorney General's office has that in the works and they will handle that. But what I got today was something else from the state board. This morning, I just got it before I came over. So yesterday they did certify the assessors that were on target yesterday. They certified their entire value. So that's what I went with. I did try to send you all an email and say our value will be certified. That's what they did now, but now they're asking for something different in this. We still have a July 6th hearing. My personal opinion is we will get our certifications because I've seen enough in the evidentiary information and things like that to know that this board is not where something of this magnitude can be decided. It's going to be the Supreme Court, whether something's constitutional or not. I tried to send out yesterday the valuations to all the special districts. I'll get with Ron here and let them know what their value would have been because they were still working on values for their budgets of the preliminary because I wasn't sure what they were going to do here. So I did go ahead and send those out yesterday. They won't get them because of our email, but I did post it on the website for anybody listening and anybody that calls you. And there's probably going to have to be some amended budgets, which is frustrating. I know, but this whole process has been frustrating and totally out of any realm of what anybody knew.
So if the stay says they have to certify the values, how can they go back in the hearing in July after we've set the budgets?
And then
So, Mr. Chairman, that's been the assessor's questions all along. The Assessors Association did retain an attorney, has nothing to do with the county attorney. I'm still working through this with them as well. They've been on board with all of this, but we're just looking for global guidance. Our association has paid for that. Mr. Chairman, I don't believe they can. I think, and what they did was they met yesterday and they said that all of the assessors that have gone so far, all 12 of them, they would go back and issue a certification for the entire value. So I believe what we're going to see, I just want to keep you up to date, and Commissioner Jones is looking just like I have been. This has been probably the most tumultuous thing I've seen in any county experience other than some of Julie's election stuff. Let's not leave that out. But I believe that we're going to use the certification that I brought to you. I think our budgeting process is going to be solid because they did issue a stay, which tells me the judge is kind of thinking that this probably isn't the forum. But the good news is I'm not going to have to send out 7,500 amended notices raising people's values or taxes, not values. Their values wouldn't change. But I was set to tell you we're good to go until I got this morning. So I will get it down to the county attorney's office. It's 31 pages of stuff.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'm confused as to what action they took yesterday.
Mr. Chairman,
The state DOE, what action did they take?
so the state board certified values. They did,
Residential as well.
yes, the entire values. So that's because they were issued a stay that they could not sort out those residential
Okay.
values.
So that stands and we just go through and then we figure out if something hits us after July.
That's correct. And
Okay.
then they issued this morning, which they hadn't talked to anybody, or yesterday, which they hadn't talked to anybody about. So I'm not quite sure. My understanding of the process is we certify and whatever happens after this goes for 2027. So that the 4% cap would be in question for 2027 based on what the Supreme Court would find. But it is right now in district court in Laramie County.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is that value at $720,000 or $750,000?
750 million, yes.
Okay. And then the cap is still good, the 4% cap is still good. People count on that yet?
So the 750 does include the 4% cap. The state board has been issued the stay by the district judge in Laramie County that said they cannot remove that cap themselves. They do not have that authority. But he will have a full hearing on that on July 6th. I don't know what time yet. I will send you all information. I'll send you an email. I'll send you all information on that when I get it, what time that hearing is.
But that would also cover the deductions for the long-term homeowners and all of that.
Mr.
Those
Chairman,
three-
those are not in question.
Those aren't
It's
equivalent.
only the 4% cap.
Okay.
And it's about 31 million, if you remember right, of assessed value. So what it would do, if we're told to remove that, would add $31 million of assessed value to Fremont County's valuation. And the districts would add value depending on what caps were in those districts.
So with the hearing being on the 6th, there probably will not be a decision made for sometime after that.
Mr. Chairman, that's correct. That's why I believe whatever decision's made will say it's going to be for future years and not this year. That's what my understanding is so far. I will get this to our county attorney today. And the county attorneys have been meeting on this regularly as well. We had our meetings last week and that was pretty much the general consensus. So I just wanted to give you that. We've got 5 appeals. I don't know where we're at with an appeal, hearing appeals. I'm working right now. I have 2 appointments today. And hoping to get some of those whittled down.
So can you come in at 11:30 before we start our work session and give us the other 2 items on your list?
I think I did. Schneider, that was one of them in the appeals. So I think I did it all. Even though I said I wasn't going to. I didn't follow the rules. But,
Okay,
okay,
perfect. Thank you.
thank
Keep
you.
us posted. Well, we'll see you on the
Yeah.
6th.
Yes, I will keep you posted on that. If I hear something else, though, I'll come back over and let you know as we go through this.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
Brian. Morning.
We're here this morning, Mr. Chairman, because of the ban on fireworks in the county. And we represent the independent state.
Sorry, could you introduce yourself?
I'm sorry. My name is Brian Neely, and I'm a member of the Independent State Fireworks Committee. We've been active for the last 3 years. And we put on a show each 4th of July for the community. We took over the fireworks that used to be done at the rodeo. The city took it on 1 year and then we followed up and started, I believe, in 2022 or 2023. This would be our 3rd show this year. And we do it in cooperation with the Life Resource Center. Wyoming Life Resource Center has participated with us by providing a venue the last 3 years. The shooting area is just south of the DEQ building on the Life Resource grounds. The actual parking area for DEQ is the viewing area for the public. The shooting area is just a few hundred feet in front of that, which actually is on city property. But because of the size of the show and the size of the mortars and rockets, there's a minimum distance required of 600 to 800 feet. And so those rockets are lined up out in the pasture just beyond the firing area for the purpose of staging the show. And that area actually is in the county, the area out in some of that irrigated ground. The entire show takes place from about 10 to 11 o'clock, approximately 1 hour. It's put on by a vendor that we have out of Centennial, Wyoming. He's a licensed vendor with all the credentials to put on this type of show. So it's a controlled show. He's been doing it all 3 years for us. He's scheduled to come up here again this year. We have insurance in place. We as a committee have to have event insurance, and he as a licensed shooter also has insurance in place. All of those things are required by the Life Resource Center as well. We have an MOU signed with them, identifying all of our responsibilities and theirs as far as putting on a show. They have certain requirements of us as far as posting and signage and so forth. The area where we're shooting is irrigated pasture and subby pasture. So it's wet area. There's pasture growth on it, but we coordinate with the Honor Farm to actually put livestock on the area that we're gonna be shooting in. So the area is grazed off, so there's a minimal amount of dry material and fuel in the area. So that's a precaution we've taken, as well as we have a 3,500 gallon water tank on a trailer that we have on site with a hose and pump, just for safety, for putting out spot fires if need be. We've contacted each of the fire departments and identified the show and if possible, having an engine on site. Because of the night and the shooting that takes place within the city and so forth, they can't commit to actually parking an engine on site, but they are on standby. They know the show takes place and they're available. So I feel like we've done a lot of the different steps that we need to make this a safe and secure event. And because of the fireworks ban, that's why we want to come to you and see if it's possible for us to receive some type of an exception or exemption so that we can go on with the show.
So,
Questions?
we issued the ban on recommendation from county fire warden, or county fire chief. And, I personally think that any variance from the fire ban should be approved through him and his board of commissioners, fire commissioners. And they're here right now, so we'll let them, if board's
Address that.
agreeable, let them address that.
Mr. Chairman, the only question I have is, we approved the ban. I don't believe delegating any exceptions would be the right thing to do. I think it lies here. It might just get difference of opinion. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, Ryan. Ron Wempen. I've reviewed both their system of what they've got in place, and I'm familiar with it from the last couple of years. He's correct with conversation with Lander City Fire and ourselves. We will have staffed apparatus in the area. But none of us are willing to commit a truck to that. I don't know that it's going to be necessarily necessary. But with the potential for other calls, none of us feel that that's possible. With the venue where they've got it, I guess I got two things kind of to say to that. For the most part, what they're doing is still on city property, and it's not within our purview. Those fields and whatnot that are out there, I am going to just throw it out that I still do not think it is probably within my jurisdiction. That's state-owned property. They are irrigated fields. And I don't think it's to me to give the blessing to go ahead and to do that. I do not have an issue with the show, but I don't really feel that I can give that authority in that situation. It's really muddled where it's split between city property and state up there, and they're utilizing kind of both, within that buffer area that they need. I just don't think that that's within our authority to do. But like I say, I don't have a problem with it. And last week, if you remember, my original request was to go ahead and let some of this stuff go till midnight. Whether it be a problem or not, I don't know. We all know what that risk is that's out there. So let's try and let that lay, I guess, where that is. That's the most honest upfront answer I can give you.
And the state has a new fire.
They do have a program there. I did visit with them yesterday. Initially, that module, if they were available, would be around that evening. And their fire engine has broken down. They don't think they're gonna have it for the weekend. So, we had a resource for a short period of time. We've lost it. Yeah. So,
Commissioners.
Chairman.
Yeah.
As you stated, I've also listening and hearing. It's a city issue and a state issue, not a county issue. And in that, as you stated, not our call. Plain and simple.
Commissioner Jones.
Yeah.
I think for the fireworks that are on county property, I think we can weigh in on it. I mean, I don't want to say, oh, you can only do half of them. So if, I think it's our call. I don't think it's a big call. I think they've got mitigation over there. You know, I think they're prepared. I would go ahead, but that's me.
Commissioner Wolf.
I'm really concerned. I've laid out my concerns, but it's mostly on city property. So we can't tell the city yay or nay. And, the other part is state, there is no county property, county area, well, the state's within the county, right?
yeah, so Mr. Chairman, it's really muddy up there because some of that is state trust land.
Yeah, I know where
And
you're
some of
talking
that is
about.
land that is actually state-owned land in care of the Department of Health.
Right,
So it's not all the same even kind of state property back there.
right.
But it is either state property that they're utilizing
Or
that is outside of the city, as far as those fields are concerned in the
Right.
back. Or it's state property that is within the city limits of Lambert.
So how close is any houses in that area or any structures? That's, you know, I'm just, and if it's, is it all irrigated right now?
Mr. Chairman, can I answer that?
Yes.
Our insurance and because the types of things that we fire have a minimum distance from any kind of improvements, buildings on the Life Resource Center or housing. And I believe the larger mortars require a minimum of 600 feet, which that's why we're moved back further out into the irrigated pasture.
Mhm.
So that they, because of the height of the mortars, they go up, they come down, they can't fall on any type of improvements. So that's something that we are aware of and control, and the vendor under his licenses has to be aware of that. I wanted the topic on state lands, and so I visited with Senator Case last night, and there are different types of state land, the trust land, as well as lands that are managed by the Life Resource Center. And this land falls under those lands that are under the Life Resource Center. And technically then they fall within the county as far as that. Further out, 2 years ago, we did a show that was further out into the state land, and truly, I think that was different classifications. So I think Mr. Wilkins is exactly correct on those different classifications, but it's unfortunate because of the type of show and the clearances we need. There's an arc around the area here. If this is the life resource and the DQ parking. So the larger mortars are out within that arc,
Okay.
which are literally 200 feet out into that pasture, which is under the county. And it's irrigated, it's wet, it's being grazed off this week. We have it's a controlled show at the license vendor, and the show literally lasts 1 hour. So
Right,
it's a controlled show that's got a designated start time and end time. So it's not being done by, haphazard throughout the night, unlicensed people. So I guess that's where I feel comfortable.
okay.
Sure.
Commissioner.
Sure. To be honest and to listen to what's being stated, if it's in the area of the land, the city of Lander and the state, then my comment before holds. If he's saying it's in the county, then I agree with Mike. We uphold what we said if it's in the county. So if you're saying it's in the county, I can't go against what we said. But if you were to say it's not in the county, then I would say, okay, then it's somebody else's responsibility. So if you come to this table saying it's in the county, then I say we have to uphold what we're doing. in that, I would truly, go and research and really find out if it is, because in that, if it is county land, then I think we can't change what we said, but if it is in the area of the city of Lander and the state, then we have no say on it. So in that, that's what I have.
Mr. Chairman, it's all on state land, correct?
Correct.
It's all in life resource property. So it's on state land. It just have that portion where the big cannons are happen to be in the county rather than the city. Is that confusing enough?
It's half and half.
Within the county boundaries, outside of the city.
Right.
And commissioners, Mr. Chairman, the actual shooting area is on city property, or on what's a designated city on the life resource property. The viewing area and the DEQ parking lot is inside the city. But because of the size of the mortars, some of the mortars are set up in an arc that extend a couple hundred feet behind the shooting area. And that actually is just beyond the boundary between that city and county line. So I mean, the actual show, the viewing, the shooter himself and his equipment are all sitting on city property.
Commissioner for provision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What does the vegetation look like around there? Can you tell us what is it? Is it dried up? We got some rain here a couple days ago. What's the vegetation like?
In the close-in area, it's actually subby and almost marshy. It's wet. It's that way most of the summer. It was that way last year when we fired. Beyond that, it gets out into an irrigated field that has ditches and so forth. They have irrigated this summer and it's pasture for the honor farm livestock. It was grown up, and I talked with Mr. Moffett a few days ago, and their intent was to put livestock on it this week. So the growth would be grazed down and minimal coverage on that ground. The ground underneath it is still irrigated and green grass.
So is there any vegetation that can be brush hogged or cleaned up a little bit?
I don't think it's necessary. You know, the only thing that would have any kind of growth would be in that marshy area.
Yeah, you can't get to
It would be wet. And then out in the actual field around ditches and so forth, the livestock doesn't.
We'll have livestock on it.
They'll move off of it a day or two before the event because they obviously don't want livestock.
right.
Go by, sure.
I mean, they're not gonna be terribly affected by it, but they'll move off in a further area of the
Okay.
pasture.
Have you sold tickets to it already?
We don't sell tickets. It's a free event to the public.
Okay. Oh, it's a free event.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes. Mr. Chairman.
quickly.
Ron, within the county and irrigated property, can't they? What's,
Within the county irrigated property for agricultural, they can burn between 6 and 10 AM in the morning
mhm,
for that. We drove by this piece when I came into town this morning to talk about, and he's exactly right. It is an irrigated pasture. There is livestock up there into it this morning. But the grasses are, you know, if there's my livestock, I'd be pretty happy.
yeah.
You know, there's some nice grass.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with, giving an exemption from, I know the property out that they're talking about. I just want to get clarifications on things. And you gotta, also, I think that we've got enough coverage. It is close to town. So, I think people are very well aware.
Commissioner, I think the point being is that it's
On
city
city.
and state property, and it would fall out of our
Pretty,
jurisdiction.
but I'm okay. I mean, if the city was the city's,
Commissioners and Mr. Chairman, I have met with Missy White and talked about this. We looked at the maps, we looked at the boundary lines, and that's where we verified what was within the city and what was slightly outside. And Missy has no problem with it. She's not doing a ban on the city for fireworks.
Right.
The fireworks will go on as planned within the city limits.
Well, I think it stands that it would be the city and the state land
and if they're okay with it, then.
decision to make whether to continue on or not. Since it's not in county property, it's not on county property or
Jurisdiction.
so.
Excuse me, as far as, Chairman Allen, are you making that decision that it's not on county and it's not within your decision then?
It's in the county. but it's on state land where we have no jurisdiction. And it's in, and the fireworks, like you said, are being lit on city property.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So I received some correspondence from Stephen Johansson, Director of Health, and he is ready to sign the MOU for this year, but he's waiting for us to get an indication. So if we're not gonna vote on it, I would suggest we at least give some sort of nod that we are okay if you give it to the state. If we're stepping back and saying it's not our call and that it's at the state, then I think it'd be to keep that moving, I think it would be good for us to make some sort of statement to the Department of Health says, yeah, we're okay, it's your decision.
I agree.
So moved.
Second.
Tell me what the motion is.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here.
here.
I'm just sitting here.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think just to add murkiness to the muddy water.
We have a motion, I act on it, and we'll have discussion.
Chairman.
Yes.
In correspondence with Vice Chairman Jones's statement, in the sense, what we have stated in a sense of agreeing with the state in a sense of the location. I say we were agreeable to follow through with their approval of having this fireworks show based upon the state allowing it and the city allowing it.
Right.
They're good with the second.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to allow this. I'll refer back to the motion because I couldn't. Discussion.
Yeah,
Wrong.
so Mr. Chairman, just I guess for some clarity of where I actually stand about it. It is state property of some type. Here's the thing, typically state trust land within the state of Wyoming never has fire or fireworks ever on it. However, the other caveat to that is in state parks and recreation areas, the superintendent of that area with the state of Wyoming can do an MOU with a commercial vendor to do commercial shows. This is not necessarily a state park type venue, but they do have an MOU or will with the Department of Health for this. And I think realizing all of that in standing, it is my opinion that we just don't have the jurisdiction over that piece of property, even though part of it does lay exterior of the city of Lander boundaries.
Well, that's pretty much, I think, what the motion said. So. Any further discussion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so is the motion to, I'll be in favor of the motion to go on with the show. Is that what your motion
The
is?
motion is to go
Yeah.
on with the show
If the state.
if the state signs the agreement. And the city as well.
Is that clear as mud?
Further discussion. I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
My understanding then with the motion, we have the right to go ahead as long as we have the signed MOU from the state.
Right, and the city.
And I'll send a text to Stephanie.
Okay.
And yeah.
Did you have anything else?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Thank you for coming. Paul, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're a little late for a public hearing, the Title III county funds. Does this include you?
I just
Am
am
I-
interested,
Yeah.
interested person because it said fire on there. So it's good to have more people more interested in these funds. Mr. Chairman, Julie Freeze, Fremont County Clerk, and Jim Anderson, Treasurer. We are doing a public hearing today on the Title III monies that we get from the Secure Rural Schools and Community Self-Determination Act of 2000. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jim to explain the 3 line items that we put out for this year to utilize this funds.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, if you recall, we had a year where the Superior Rural Schools was skipped, was not authorized. And so when it was reauthorized, I believe in December of 25, they actually made it retroactive. So we have 2 years worth of payments on the Title III. The Title III money has certain restrictions as far as what it can be spent on. The 2 very broad categories traditionally have been to support search and rescue activities that are held on public lands, and also wildfire prevention activities. So typically the search and rescue stuff we've kept with the county and used it for our search and rescue missions and equipment. The fire prevention programs, we basically have given that over to the Fremont County Fire District to manage that and either give out grants to homeowners to help with private property or do, programs on their own. One other area that we're actually able to use this money for, that's a fairly new opportunity, is for the use of purchasing equipment for 911. And so what we did this year with the 2 authorizations that we had, it was a total of $106,973. We split that up into search and rescue for $15,000, fire prevention programs at $20,000, and then the purchase of 911 equipment for our dispatch center at $71,973.
So who does the 911 equipment? In any like emergency management, county fire, who can ask for that out of for the 911 equipment?
Well, I think that it's fairly broad. It does say that it's available for equipment purchases, so it has to be hardware. So it could be radios, it could be servers. I mean, we're talking about servers with our dispatch. Both search and rescue and Fremont County Fire are both dispatched through our dispatch center. So this could be used essentially within the county to begin to upgrade the dispatch center and the required electronic computer servers and whatnot that's needed there.
Question.
Mr. Chairman. So can we use these funds for the dispatch fund, upgrades or anything like that?
Yeah, that's what he.
Okay, that's what you got here. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my whole question. Make note of it. So.
Okay, any other questions? Since this is a public comment, are there any public comments?
So the only thing I wanted to add is like on the search and rescue that we have been using that for is when you have a search and rescue and it becomes a recovery, those things that don't get covered by the state search and rescue council. We've definitely been using this, but we've tried, but I don't know how successful we've been, but tried to talk to the sheriff's office about when they do practices, as long as it's on Forest Service land, then they can use those funds for practices. Or if you have equipment that are just used pretty much primarily in those areas too, that's another place you can use that. And I think this is one place besides us just doing recoveries, we could do better with that. So I think after we're done adopting this budget, I would like to work on a plan, it sounded like I was losing it, working on a plan that gets this information out to the right agencies and maybe have a meeting on that somewhere. Dispatch seems to have all those same people in it, so maybe at their group so that we can kind of talk about how to better utilize this money.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just to add to that, there is actually some carryover money from prior years that we have. So we have about $31,000
carrying over for search and rescue, and another $60,600 is available for wildfire. That's already been authorized in previous years.
60,000.
60,600 for wildfire.
And then the 911 equipment, that's a new one.
That's a new one. We've not authorized anything in the past.
Emma, was there any written comment? We did advertise this, starting May 16th and ending June 29th. Since this is a public comment, are there any public comments? Once again, are there any public comments regarding this Title III county funds hearing? Which, not that commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, how do I summarize this?
I know.
Fremont County was hold public comment. We held the public comment that finished up on the 29th. Title III funds may be carry out activities for, maybe used carry out activities at Fremont County Wildfire, Hazardous Fuels, reimburse county for search and rescue and other emergency services of federal lands, and develop community wildfire protection plans. Counties allocating funds for Title III must annually submit a certification that funds were used in accordance with Title III. The following projects are being proposed for Fremont County for calendar year 2026. Search and rescue, $15,000. Fire prevention programs, $20,000. 911 equipment for $71,973, with a total of $106,973. Move that we approve the use of those funds.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve those funds for the Title III funding in the amount mentioned in the motion. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You said variable was 62 or 30?
Tim,
Combined about 90,000.
91.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. I brought my iPad so that I could read the update, but then when I opened it in the back, it's only got 1%. So I mean, no disrespect, but I've got the information on my phone, so I'm gonna be reading off my phone. But I think after my last update, I wanted to make sure I quickly followed up. But WRTA this month is pleased to report a substantial month of progress. Strong community support and statewide recognition for the work being done to strengthen public transportation in Fremont County and across Wyoming. Our Fare Free Summer campaign continued to demonstrate value by removing transportation barriers for residents across the service area since that campaign began. And we still have one day of data to collect, but fixed route ridership is up 26%. And demand response ridership is up 19%. These increases are quite significant. They are demonstrating support data that even with modest, or even when modest, fare still remains a meaningful barrier for some riders depending on public transportation. But equally important, the campaign has received an inspiring level of support from local corporate and private sponsors to make it possible. The sponsorship commitments have now crested $7,000, demonstrating a profound community investment in the purpose of public transportation. That aside, WRTA is extremely honored to have received the Wyoming's Public Transportation Agency of the Year award. And so I have been bringing it around and kind of parading it around and look what we did. We did make sure our team signed the back of it because behind every competent director is the staff that actually makes them look competent. So couldn't have gotten there without the support of our board and the staff that has made it possible. But we were recognized as 2026 as Agency of the Year, nominated by YDOT.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, that award just reflects the commitment of our staff and our entire team. Meaningful acknowledgement of the work that we've done locally to build stronger, more responsive, and more innovative public transportation system. In addition, WRTA drivers, I know I wanted to provide this update. I had placed a bet that, or was willing to bet we would place 1 through 3rd. I partially won, but our drivers did place first, second, and 4th in the state rodeo competition. So, and that 4th place was by 10 points. So we were almost there. But nevertheless, those drivers did represent the example of what public transportation operators should be. Is quite an outstanding accomplishment in the 2nd year now that WRTA has brought the 1st place home. For those planning to attend the Riverton 4th of July parade, WRTA is excited that we'll be showcasing a surprise in that parade for the 250th year celebration, and coincidentally the 30th year celebration of WRTA. So that'll be unveiled as part of WRTA's recognition. We remain fully committed. Oh, also, this is kind of a bit out of left field, but WRTA has remained fully committed to working with YDOT partners as Wyoming's public transportation systems across the state are navigating a funding crisis that emerged in late May, early June. Funding disruption has affected the entire public transportation network in Wyoming, and it has required agencies across the state to reassess their operations, their reporting, and their long-term sustainability. Rather than responding in isolation, WRTA is being part of a statewide solution. We are actively strategizing ways to work with YDOT for better reporting with the FDA and other subrecipients to improve the accuracy and consistency of their reporting, which ultimately results in higher funding allocation to the state. Overall, this month's report reflects really a strong and encouraging message. Ridership is increasing. The community is investing in public transportation. WRTA has received statewide recognition. Our drivers continue to lead at the highest level, and we remain engaged in the difficult but necessary work in stabilizing transit funding across the state in the future. Just to put that in perspective, we weathered it relatively well as WRTA, but others didn't. Sheridan system reportedly receiving up to a 51% reduction in their federal allocation. Or state. So it's federal funding, 5311 funding, but it's passed through the state since they're 5311. So the state receives the full pool of 5311 funds, and then it's allocated from there. So it's federal funding, but it's passed through the state. So they received about 51%. WRTA received about 24.56%, but is compared to our colleagues, we received quite a lesser amount. START system in Jackson received 37. The University of Wyoming received 32%. Some agencies locally reported up to over 30, about 30% reduction as well. So interesting, but yeah, we worked with YDOT last week at the association committee meeting or the association board meeting. how do I say that? I was pretty stern to both the YDOT and the Board Association that neither of them were aware of the situation and allowed a 2-week notice for funding decisions to be made for the agencies with such significant reductions, which is completely unacceptable for both YDOT and our association that we pay annual dues to. And so we'll be working directly with them to help find a solution. But with that, that's the update I have for you. Very excited. Our staff worked really hard and yeah, I've received quite the humbling recognition this month.
Questions, Commissioners? And what about the fund request?
Yeah, so sorry, as I had
I guess I
mentioned.
should have kept quiet.
Yeah, sure. As I had explained, I think two updates ago, I had the spreadsheet that we utilize for 2 years now, that allocates out a percentage of our local match requests to all of our partner agencies. And that amount for this fiscal year, the request from the county was 125,000 and change. And each one of the municipalities that receive direct services from WRTA received a similar request allocated based on population density and the amount of service in those areas.
I guess I didn't notice till Commissioner Jones let me know last week. Yeah, I didn't notice it. And so what part does FCAT fund?
So that's what I should say. So that's the 37% that WRTA and FCAG have dedicated themselves to funding, right? So the way that the funding allocation works is we take the entirety of the anticipated local match for that next fiscal year. And then we assess what revenue streams are available to the organization and how we can fund our end. We are pretty confident in our commitment to 37% of the total local match. And so that's the percentage that the agency will be funding. And then we request the remaining percentage from our partner agencies.
What kind of response have you gotten from other members of FCAT?
So far, it is been really promising. The city of Riverton has committed currently to $25,000 with the hope that as we progress, that we'll be potentially able to request more in the future, but they have that commitment currently. Previously, it was $47,000 last fiscal year. The city of Lander, I've been in discussions with Missy, and during the last board meeting, she did say she'll be taking it to the council during their final budget discussions. And so they do have a figure. I believe theirs was 69,000. I do have those numbers somewhere, but they'll be taking that number to their council as well.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Tim, you're working more with our senior citizens now in the Riverton area too, aren't you?
That is
It
correct.
seems like you're picking more of them up.
That is
That senior citizen center the other day, and there was several handicapped people in wheelchairs that you picked up to their destination. Is that, and that seems to be increasing.
Yes, well, yeah, and thank you for that. That is accurate, and we continue to expand that service, but we can brag a little bit that at least in the Riverton area, we've bridged the transportation barrier between the 7 o'clock in the morning hour to 6 p.m. You can go anywhere in Riverton at any point in time. It operates pretty smoothly. Our staff are continuing to refine it, but yeah, and as that system has become better, the ridership has continued to grow month over month.
So with that, because that's a YDOT partnership program as well.
The integration,
Yeah, with senior citizens and WRs. WRTA.
Yeah, that was,
Was that cut?
so the short answer is yes. So the way that that partnership worked is YDOT, the Riverton Senior Center, and WRTA partnered in the integration of their public transportation program, which their local match became overburdensome, and so we couldn't just let that service disappear. So the idea was for a reduced cost, WRTA would be able to directly operate that service and continue its existence in the Riverton area. And we would need some numbers before we made a promise, but we did say we'll definitely see at least a 25% reduction in total operating costs. As the data has come in, it's looking more like 36%. So we've gained quite a bit of efficiency on that front, that the total operating cost for that service has been reduced by 36%. Meanwhile, the service available in that area has been expanded by 59%. So we were actually very fortunate. We were asked to provide kind of a lessons learned session at the conference this year, and we presented that data, and it was pretty moving to some of our colleagues around the state as well. And so the long answer to that question is the entirety of the funding, which part of that partnership was that if we could guarantee 25% cost reduction, then the 75% of funds that remained with the Riverton Senior Centers would be dedicated to WRTA in the following fiscal year. With the cuts, that didn't happen. We had to completely reconstruct our budget around that news, but we do have a few strategies. Again, we have been very actively working with the Community Transportation Association of America, and I just got out of a meeting with them right before I came here, where we kind of discussed, and we have the data we need to make informed decisions of how we'll navigate that cut. But I suppose the long-winded response, which you should expect nothing less from me, I suppose by now, to answer your question is yes, that partnership, even though it was YDOT, Riverton Senior Center, and WRTA as a joint partnership, the funding that would have been transitioned with that is no longer available.
Any questions?
Yes. So my question is, FCAG, do they fund you? Do they fund River Transit Authority?
Indirectly,
How much?
they do. So that's where indirect costs from the administrative oversight and things like that come into factor. And so the total valuation of that would be somewhere between 27 and 32,000. I can get an exact number for you if you would like.
Okay. And so you're asking how much from the county?
I believe the total allocation was 125 and change.
Okay, and then, that has been put in place because of routes within the county, or how do you come up with that figure?
Absolutely. So I provided a kind of a support document that showed each one of the WRTA services that are provided and the amount of which those services operated in designated areas. Thank you. For here. And then it takes into account population density for that area as well, the potential recipients of the service and the total impact. And then it comes out with an allocation of which, again, that allocation is subtracted from the amount that the agency has committed itself to funding internally.
So taking away the fact that within the county, we take away Shoshone Pavilion, we take away Atlantic City, we take away Boulder Flats, Crowheart, City, Fort Washington, Jeffrey City, Johnstown, out of the county, meaning whether they be funded by the tribes or not have any service at all. And then you involve both Riverton and Lander, and then also Du Bois not being hopefully within the county, because then Du Bois would have to be part of that. Their own allocation.
Yeah.
I can't see how the county has a larger amount than the rest, because in that, the routes would not be as much, because, again, Shoshone's not getting service. Arapahoe's not getting service, Atlantic City's not getting service. Pearl Harbor seems not be getting service. But in that, Jersey City's not getting service. And so, and some of these within the boundaries of the reservation would be tribal responsibility. Every route within the city of Lander, city of Riverton would be their responsibility. Every route within Du Bois would be their responsibility, which would then, I would think the amount for the county would be far less than what Lander's paying. I don't see how 100,000, it doesn't add up to me.
Okay.
At all. I mean, but unless you're picking up people within the county somehow, I mean, it doesn't add up.
Okay.
And then you're getting funding from FCAG, which we're county's a part of. But, yeah, the percentage amount that you're asking from the county just doesn't add up for me.
Okay.
I don't.
And a lot of that was within the dedicated service area of each one of these services, were identified the population based on there. So Fremont County was allocated 13,598 direct citizens within that area alone. When Riverton, their population 10,923. Now the service that they provide, and if you'll notice here as well, the county receives no percentage allocation for services like Safe Ride, since it doesn't operate within the county. And then
Chairman, if you were to do a survey with that population in the county, if you were to host a survey and say, do you utilize River Transit Authority, and came up with a small percentage, even though we have a large percent population in the county, I mean, that would probably help, because then within the county, if we don't have a whole lot of population using your services, then that amount wouldn't uphold, in a sense, to our constituents to say, we're giving this amount because you are using this based upon your own dedication to it in a survey, saying you use this, so it would make sense for us to fund it. But if the percentage of individuals saying I use this or don't use this, it's, you know, I mean, how do we know? I mean, if we just go by the population, and that population saying, well, we don't use them, it's just hard to fund something that within the county nobody's using. Now within the city, I could see they are using it. I see the route, especially for Riverton, with the large amount of that. And have you gone to the tribes for funding?
I will be having that discussion. A lot of it has been kind of just building the relationship, and, but I will be revisiting the Intertribal Council again, just to provide an update, and also to provide this same data as well.
Okay.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Clarence, and also you've got the senior buses or senior cars running all throughout the town as well. They're picking up people, so I'm failing to see this as well. Also, what I have witnessed myself is the tribes now have transit authority cars, vehicles. I seen number 5 on one, passed it this morning. So they're getting their own vehicles for transit. So I don't see where the county would be responsible for that kind of money. Nobody in the county is getting services, basically. So it's more focused on Riverton and Lander. And FK is already paying in there, so I'm not seeing either.
Anything further?
Mr. Chairman, would this be included in our budget? hearing today?
We're gonna, I think we'll have.
Yeah. I think it is.
Discussion.
Okay.
All right, well, anything further?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Okay.
well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Please.
Would you like to see it with me?
If you'll introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
My name is Keith Travelers. I'm a member both of the VFW American Legion. And with me is the mayor of Lander, Jesse White. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we are planning for the 250th anniversary of the nation. One of the things that is overlooked is that the official reading of the Declaration back in 1776 was made on the 8th of July in 3 different cities in the colonies at the time. That was the first public announcement or reading of the Declaration to the populace. Many communities throughout the United States are celebrating that, not just every year, but because of the 250th, it's a big deal this year, and quite a few are publicly doing a reading. Usually it's at noontime. And I approached the mayor to see if she had any plans to do that in Lander. The answer was basically we really hadn't thought about it. So as we started discussing it, we felt the best location for a public reading on the 8th of July would be here at the courthouse, either at the veterans area in front or on the steps. A lot of people do it on the steps underneath the flagpole. So we were in the midst of planning that. That's why I came last week, just to discuss, see if the county had any plans, similar plans to do anything of that sort. Even though I'm a veteran and I approach this from our veteran discussions, it's really a political statement. At the time in 1776, we had already been fighting for a year against the British. So that declaration was the political outpouring of what the nation was planning to do. You know, separate from the British and create our own nation. So in that planning, we just wanted to throw that out to you all to see if you want to participate in that political statement, the celebration of that political statement, and join with the Lander city and the mayor and maybe discussing how we could do that better. Ma'am, would you like to?
Agreed. I mean, I personally like the idea, even though it is more on the governance side, that could only happen because of the armed services that made that possible. So I think it would be a really neat opportunity to show that collaboration, and agree that being at one of our locations of governance would be an ideal place to do that. Lander City Hall does not offer really a good place for that. We like the idea of this property, given them, the green space and whatnot. In our ideal world, it'd be something where once we have confirmation of location, to be able to invite all elected officials to. Obviously, we need to get some sound system and some details on that, but what I'd like to do is be able to invite any and all elected officials to be here, and because the Declaration of Independence is lengthy enough, we could all take turns reading, those who are comfortable for it. And we'd like to make it not only a solemn ceremony of acknowledgement, but also then add something community focused. So encourage folks, one being at the lunchtime, we hope then and have higher participation, encourage folks, bring a picnic lunch. If you're so amenable, we would invite some of or any and all of the food trucks as well to be able to be here and have folks participate in this. So that's our thought for it. And obviously it's coming up quickly. So we appreciate your being here and being willing to consider this conversation. So we'd love to hear any thoughts from you about concerns you have or logistics you would like to see addressed in that.
Chairman,
Yes.
I don't see any problem having collaboration, and then your idea of having it, work in this location is a good idea. And then all that you stated in that collaboration, seems fine with me. And so I have no problem with it.
Commissioner Jones.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with Commissioner Thomas. I think we should support. Raises some questions in my mind. What are you looking for in terms of support from us as a county, other than our facility? So if that gets spelled out, but I don't know that we have a lot of resources to throw at this, but certainly public announcements, I know we got a little bit of trouble on getting stuff to the paper. Is that something you're thinking of handling or you want us to do? Again, we got caught with some timing of a public hearing for our budgets because they've shifted it at the newspaper now, right? I don't know what the deadline is for next Wednesday, right?
Yeah. I think it would have to probably be a Wednesday deadline. Just looking at what they sent the other day for, their voting insert,
So
because of that was like, yeah, I would guess tomorrow would be just a
So
good
we need to do
guess.
something tomorrow.
Well, it's. I think if you're talking about having a bunch of electeds, is that considered a public meeting? Is that the concern there?
No,
Or,
no, it's
okay,
in the
more,
word out. I don't know what participation
Okay.
you want from us.
right, I mean, in terms of advertising, I think given the tight time frame, and I mean, I'm willing to work on, I've got Canva access.
Yes.
I don't foresee being able to get that to print by tomorrow, so I think we'd be more dependent on social media, passing the word, that kind of thing.
They'll do
Yeah.
events.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we also have text my gov. We could have Emma send that out that it was gonna be happening. Anybody who signed up for text my gov, more and more, they're finding out we have closures. That might be the best way to hear from us. We have no email right now, so at the county, it's being worked on, so that would be a good way for us to do that part. And the website, obviously, we could post it on the website. Did we have Facebook too? And she could do Facebook as well.
Yeah, there's the various, county commission, Facebook, city of Lander, city of Riverton, what's happening in Lander, all, we can spread the word through all of that.
And I think, I think it's free on county ten, they got that events column. And I think you could tag into that. Yeah.
We can do coffee time, we can do a lot of things.
So you're amendable to it?
Yep.
Commissioner.
Yeah, that's fine. Why, the eighth, just
That-
because
that
of
was
the
the-
time?
No, that was the day that the Declaration of Independence was first publicly read to the colonies.
It was on the eighth.
It was on noon time on the eighth.
I was gonna suggest that we do it on the tenth of Wyoming's birthday.
Oh.
So.
We will figure out.
Did Ethan
I am in agreement with Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so if you can let us know what you need from us, because I mean, if there's gonna be a large crowd of people, maybe we can. Block off the parking lot to, for an hour or two or whatever. And. Somebody with the police department, maybe they can clear the food trucks and so on and so forth.
Yeah, yes, and Mr. Chairman, it's nice to have those connections. Thank you. I think one thing, not a requirement, but an ask is, does the county have any PA system that can be used outside? And if not, that's one of the things we'll need to go looking for. I think the city has one, but it's fairly low.
And the Legion has one. as well.
Okay, so
we
that
use
might be,
For all the.
oh,
even
right,
Memorial
yes,
Day.
okay, great.
Mr. Chairman, I know that the Lore Foundation just gave a grant to the Pioneer Days Parade for a very large system. So they are going to use that during the parade, so you might get with parade committee. I'm sure that they would let you use that.
Oh, all right.
Sounds like it's a go, and let us know what you need, and, preferably it's plenty of time ahead of time, so we can plan too.
I think the main thing is if any of the commissioners would like to participate in the reading. We will then divide up the declaration between yourself, the commissioner, whoever shows up, and veterans can pick up whatever's left over.
Perfect.
I'd love to be here. I can't guarantee it. I gotta be here Monday. Tuesday and, 3 days.
So if we have a phone number or an email for us is out for a second, but a phone number that we could let our elected officials know for you, and then they could reach out to you if they could. It sounds like you would like to have a list of people that could help.
Yeah. that would
Okay,
be
so
lovely.
we'll just put it out to our elected officials and let them get a hold of you either way. Okay, if you leave a number with Emma.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just let us know and we'll work it out.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Appreciate it.
that will take a 10-minute break and be back.
No, I agree, part of it, but I
executive session for personnel and potential litigation. All those in favor?
Bye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Thanks to you.
Yeah. This guy's, you know.
Yeah, whatever you do.
Okay, I've been busy this summer.
You know, fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm never up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, we had, right there.
Come on up.
Already? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Last week, I came in and we spoke about a couple business items, including an SOC review of one of the extension employees, and then also just a compensation agreement for our 4-H educator. So in regards to the SOC, I met with Julie, did a further review, just comparing other employees with similar SOCs, and also made sure to note that the SOC was different in a few places. So I think we got that straightened out, and Julie sent out to Larry and I just that review. So kind of looked at it where this employee that we're talking about lies in comparison to other people within the same SOC. In the past, that employee had been listed sometimes office administrator in one, or office manager in one SOC, and then admin assistant in the other, and get the SOC tables. And then same with the other employee in the secretary position. Sometimes it was listed as admin assistant, sometimes it was listed as secretary. So I think we got that all straightened out. And I spoke to you last week why we're asking for the SOC adjustment for the administrative assistant, moving her up after 10 years in the job. She's done a great job. I know that education's not a factor or not needed for this, but she does have a master's degree. Been here for 10 years, which is longer than a lot of the others in that group of folks that we reviewed. So just wanted to see. It did change a little bit, the table going from office manager to administrative assistant, but that would still, the raise would still put her around 25% level 2 within our SOC.
Questions, commissioners? And you have nothing for your secretary?
Mr. Chairman, not at this time. Just looking at the SOC, she's currently at 25% level 2 for her. We did do an SOC adjustment in December of 2024 for her. I was thinking in the future, like maybe after fair, taking a review of her and making sure she's still where she should be within her SOC. But right now she's situated kind of where I think she should be. And also moving forward, I've kind of done SOC requests on, not very often. When I originally set up our progression program for our SOC longevity levels. It was every 5 years, but gonna try to look at doing it maybe more frequently, taking a better look at that. So as of December 2024, that was 5 years for the other employee. And but we're be open to looking at it sooner.
Okay, commissioners, questions? And then we have this annual compensation agreement.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So last week I went over the annual compensation agreement. There was confusion as to the numbers. What Emma just passed out was actually the fiscal year 26 compensation agreement that has the correct numbers on it. I think what you had was 25, which included a partial payment of when that employee started. But in 26, this is what we agreed to. So moving into 27, the university did implement a raise, which increased the payments and overall due from the county. But actually, I just yesterday received news from the state that, or from the state office that they may not be asking for increases from counties for these educators. So if that's the case, the compensation agreement would stay the same or close to the same as the fiscal year 26. And the university would cover the ratings for all employees, because I guess that's where the money came from the state for that purpose for fiscal year 27.
So is your recommendation that if we approve it, I mean, to act on it or not, or just to wait and see if
Julie said that we had until next week to finalize the budget. So I'm hoping to have an updated compensation agreement, but it will not exceed what is on here.
Is that the 27,452? Because I know Tanya came in at
Yeah, so
middle of the year or putting it at something.
so my budget request was 27,452, and I just tried to guess that included a 3% raise. So yeah, I would say that would be sufficient. But I still don't have the new compensation agreement from the state. I would assume it'll be closer to the fiscal year 26, which is 26,652 when it comes through.
Right. So we'll just wait on this compensation agreement until next week.
Yes.
Commissioners, questions? What would you like to do with the SOC adjustment on the admin? It's not admin secretary, it's
It's Chairman, be the administrative assistant.
administrative assistant.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Yeah, where does your SOCs compare to other counties in the state? Where do you set? Are you know, we do that with the sheriff's department and we find out where we're sitting in that SOC numbers, you know, are you number 14, are you number 1, or where are you?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, I don't know how we compare to other counties, but within the county, this would move her just based on Julie's list. I don't know if it includes all administrative assistant SOCs within Fremont County, but this would move her from kind of the middle of the pile to the upper end of the pile. I can pass around this sheet that has all of those listed on there.
I think some,
They have it.
Small, but
You should have
They
that.
have it.
yeah, I thought they got it. Your SOC, a number would be what, $5,000?
the SOC, the exact number I've got it wrote down here would be about $5,475 to be exact. Moving up to what I had on my SOC adjustment request, based on Julie's correction to the SOC classification, 25% level two would actually be slightly less. That would be 56,417. Would put her at exactly 25% level two for an administrative assistant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Questions? Further question? Commissioners, what would you like to do?
Based upon, the chair master, right?
Commissioner, or, yeah, Mr. Chairman, yes.
Okay. And she's been there quite a while. Okay. Motion to approve this SOC adjustment request for this extension worker who's the administrative secretary or administrative assistant.
Yes.
Yeah. From current rate 52,032 to increased amount of 57,507.
No, that's different.
Is it different?
Yeah.
I'm reading over that.
Yeah.
It's in the green.
Okay, so I'm going off what he gave us last time.
Yeah, well,
That's just the stuff in the green is just the area it would, his request would fall under for the 50.
So the current rate is 52,032.
That,
Right,
I don't know why I typed 52, that's not it, is it, Janice? It's like 57 is what you're asking for.
Yes, so 52,032 is her current
Current.
salary. We were asking for 57,507 based on the old SOC bracket when she was listed as office manager. The current SOC bracket as an administrative assistant, 25 level two would be slightly less, so it'd be 56,417.
So motion change to the budget increase amount of 56,417.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's still with your addition is 57,027 is what you're requesting.
That was my original request, but whatever works.
Just making sure, because if I put the wrong thing down there.
So, what are you, see, I have this, and then another number. So what number are we looking
Yeah,
at?
put the right request. So I'm gonna be clear, I didn't put the right request number in there where it says request. That should have been, her annual wage was, this is back when I pulled the other over. If you look above, it's correct. 52,000, I got any glasses, 52,032.
Okay,
And I think his request was 5,000 something, and it comes up to 57,507, which should have been in my request down here. 57,507 is his request. And I'm just showing you in the green that it's in that range.
who's right?
Yeah.
you were, I
Always question.
I'm not gonna say anything anymore.
Chairman, my motion, as stated, motion for approval for SOC adjustment request for Central Department for the administrator assistant, starting our current rate of 52,032 to increase to amount of 57,507.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the SOC recommendation to 57,507. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development Fund discussion.
Yes, sir.
Lion.
Yeah.
Actually, even more fun.
Mr. Chairman, so I think the first thing we want to do is to look at the budget that we have set out for this currently. If you look at the top, the revenues, we're still getting a little bit in from apparently people that don't know we aren't at 5.5% anymore. And then there is some interest on that money that we're holding. It could be a little bit higher this year, just depends on how much of this money you're going to use. So looking down below, there won't be any money going to the Association of Governments or the City of Riverton anymore, according to this, just because of the way the ballot read, a certain percentage of it went to them off the top. So any little bit of money that we're getting in has been going into the county's economic development line item to be used. Generally, what that was for projects. So we've been talking lately about what is good use of that. We did nothing really with that last year. We punted and we didn't really move any direction. And so it has come up recently. One of our conversations is here's a place where we could help fund the ambulance while we're waiting to see what happens with the tax that's on the primary ballot. Because there is enough money to cover most of that bill. And then it came last week or the week before, I can't remember, the question about the, what do they call it? River Peak Health Hospital in Riverton is short money, so you can read there. It says that they are looking for $400,000. Position is, let's see, try and find. The $400,000 will help to complete the kitchen at the River Peak Health, create new food service jobs, and allow the hospital to provide fresh home cooked style meals for patients to better support the delivery of high quality patient-centered healthcare services in the community. Then I did not realize until this morning, due to our emails, I probably should have looked on your list, but so you've had WRTA basically, I'm assuming, looking at that same money. He didn't say that this morning, but I'm going to assume so. That's $124,259 if you round it up. So with that said, we do have till next week to totally decide what to do with this money. It would give an opportunity for the public to comment on your thought process before we do adopt the budget next week. So you can say that you want to do that this week, or you can say, we're thinking about that highly, or whatever you want to say. And then next week, when we do adopt the budget, then we should make that that statement specifically, or a motion or something. So with that said, I will turn that back over to you unless Jim has anything. No. Back over to you to decide how would you like to spend your economic development money, because I just feel like, I think you did say, well, there's one grant. That's in one of your things, sir.
Yeah.
We have one grant that is not still paid off, meaning they owe us or we owe them.
No, we owe them.
We owe them.
They never submitted a voucher.
Okay,
That was approved back in December of 24. At least that I have found any record of. And that was for cheap for $35,000. Approximately.
I think there was an issue with that, but they needed more or something, or didn't want to do with what we allowed or something.
Yeah, there was
Cement.
an issue with it and it just dropped. I mean,
I think they walked away from it.
yeah,
I can't remember after that, and look at the file, but seems like I remember some sort of correspondence when I did the audit.
So we just wanted to make sure we weren't holding out on somebody's funding somewhere before we said, hey, we have this much money to spend. So you have $1,090,345 approximately to determine how you would like to spend that. Like I said, it'd be kind of nice to get that off the books.
Sure.
yes.
I don't know if I heard it right, but, the hospital said that the number 40,000 wasn't, that it changed to, I think it changed to from the time I heard about it, the 4,000 was good, but they needed 600,000. Then I heard they needed 800,000. So I don't know. It changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
I think they need 800,000 to finish it. They asked for, if they could get 6, Mike, I think, recommended his, was 400,000, so that's kind of the steps we have in there.
And the only thing, Mr. Chairman, that I would add, and I don't remember who told me this, but I thought there was another entity out there that was going to offer 60,000. So I don't know how many other people are offering to help this effort. So that's why I asked for something in writing. And of course, we did recommend 400,000 and they thought it was approved. So it says, thank you for approving it. So I think they're willing to get what they can get for it, but I don't know what, I mean, that would be a question I would have for Mr. McGuffey as well. Do you have anybody else that's filling those gaps, I guess? But-
Yeah, Mr. Chair. The Lions Club evidently is going to donate $50,000.
That's a different one than I've heard. So that's two then.
Yeah, so that'll help. So that's why they were asking if we could get up to 600,000, and they would have 2 that they can put them over. So that's kind of, was my take on it.
On the hospital. I would like more feedback who's donating. I would like more feedback about who's donating. Sure. The 4 right now, I'm okay with 4 right now, until somebody convinces me otherwise.
We should do. Mr. Chairman, so my recommendation was 400 based on a general consensus we had around putting 500,000 into the 2025-2026 budget for
Yeah.
ambulance to make up the shortfall of the budget.
Mhm.
And that would take us down to about $1 million. There is some question. So the, if the 3/4 cent tax fails, okay, under this scenario. Well, whether they do or not, whether it passes or not, the air service subsidy is going to have a shortfall starting in September. They're gonna run out of money in September, October. And so they're gonna come ask at that point, could they use the economic development money, because that's what, that's the way it was designed. That, my understanding, that number is roughly $600,000. And so if it fails, we'll still have that $600,000 in there. I think we could reconsider where we spend that money. But if it does succeed, they're gonna come and ask for that money to get them through the first of the year when they start getting revenues off of that 3/4 cent. And so that's the gap, and that's the numbers I was working off of. And I was, that's why I suggested the 400, because it doesn't commit those dollars, so that we could have that conversation. If the tax does go through. So that was my thinking there, and it just holds it back. I don't think there's any reason that we'd have to commit to that now. And it's a wait and see, we're all gonna wait and see to see what happens. But I would say that the hospital isn't gonna go away. And but the air service and WRTA, and that's what I would suggest. Same with the WRTA's request at this point is see you in September. Because I'm not willing to fund something that's gonna go away. And we know it's gonna go away because the voters have said, no, we're not gonna pay for it, at least in that fashion. So we could always make it a budget adjustment for WRT later, but that's my thinking on that. I'm just one commissioner here, but that's been my thinking about the 400 and the WRTA. Ambulance is a different story. We had talked about this last year. That if we couldn't get the conversation completed with Du Bois, or we didn't reduce services out of Du Bois from Frontier, that we would take that five, that we would have to look at it, at that economic development money to cover that. So we generally talked about that idea, and of course, we didn't get any of that done, and here we are. So that's just the way my simple mind works.
I think, Mr. Chairman, then, so a couple things that I think you could do then with this budget is, if you're pretty assured that you're going to take 500,000 for the ambulance, we move that in the transfer to ambulance. If that is a for sure thing, for the shortfall there, then we could do that and then reduce this amount just for projects still. I'm going to guess that you're probably, I don't know if you're still under your project process where you would get an application, or no, you could just give it out, or,
We
I mean,
suspended it.
okay. So again, I don't know exactly what the process would be for anybody to actually after September, and I don't know if the hospital can wait till after September or August. So, I mean, those are things I think that we could make adjustments on here for if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't wanna put everybody back through it. I think the public was really clear. They didn't like that 70% going to private businesses. So I look out over all the projects that we did. This is not a business. It's a, I don't even know what it is. We can't call it a district, but it's certainly a not-for-profit. And we've given money to them before, but if I look at all the other projects, to me, I thought this was worthy of bringing it back up again, and can we shuffle more money to them, because they're, inflation has been horrendous on that whole process, and it's something the public needs. So that's just my thinking there. I don't really want to open it back up, because I think it goes against what the vote was on that 70%. And this project fits from my thinking, but that's just me.
So I think you're right, Julie. I think my thought is that we paid the 500 and whatever shortfall for ambulance. And then I guess I'm unclear. Do you still want, I think still move forward with 400?
I would, that'd be my recommendation, yeah.
I'll go 4, I'll leave Bill 5.
I guess you didn't hear my math equation there.
Chairman, I'm good with the 500,000 ambulance and 400,000 to the hospital. The issue of whatever transit authority, as I said before in the meeting, the numbers didn't sit well. They didn't chime with me.
So I would need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, again, it sounds like there's a good thought process on this. We could listen to public hearing next week. You can do a motion today. It doesn't matter to me. We can set the budget next week too. I'm just trying to get this to the ambulance will loosen up money in the general fund. Great.
Yeah.
Make sure. So just so you know, it loosens up money in the general fund. Okay.
Did we, Mr. Chairman, did we make any kind, I'm trying to remember, whether we made a decision on the ambulance fees that are different? I'm sorry, the dispatch fees that are different than what we have in contract. So there's a shortfall in this year's budget.
Yes.
And did we make a decision on that?
So the dispatch fees, yes,
We did.
You did
Oh,
do,
yes.
we did
Okay.
do a budget hearing for that, and that was almost $200,000.
Okay, and that came out of general fund,
Yes.
out of reserve. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then this 500,000, we were actually short in this current year, the 500,000 in the regular subsidy. And so I guess that's part of my question is this 500,000, are we talking about that for next,
We,
budgeting it for next year, or are we gonna transfer that this year? Because
into this year, correct?
Just this current year.
current year, did the
We have not
500,000
made any decisions on next year because
Okay.
we've got this extension.
Right,
So we at the very least ought to have the extension allocation of 53, is it, there's boards 168,000 a month.
I don't know, it's a good question, I don't.
Cause it went up like $19,000 and we've been paying right around 154. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, for the frontier subsidy.
Oh.
So at the very least, we gotta have 3-month extension in the 2027 budget.
Right, so we are currently paying 151,875
Okay,
and 33 cents.
and now we'll go to 107.
It'll go up an additional 19,000.
2,250,000 for the ambulance.
Did we leave, is that in?
Yes, that's.
We put the 2.2, so we're covered.
We're
in
two
the-
point two in the,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we're covered.
okay. So that's all up to you guys, how you wanna handle this, or you just want adjusted at the, if you agree to that now. If you agree to that now, then you could do that, and then then I'll put it into the budget. And then people can they can comment on it, you change your mind next Tuesday, that's fine
We
too,
can
we
do
can adjust it back too, so.
You agreeable with the recommended changes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the 400,000 if I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then here was the stuff that the WRTA had tried to send to you, so that is out there to pass around.
Chairman, that was weird, the whole WRT thing. None of us caught it. It was in the, Fora documents that was sent us the first time. And nobody got it in the other municipalities either. I brought it up at FCAG. I go, is that a formal request? Cause it didn't hit us as a formal request for the budget. And it was just really weird. Do people not understand that,
I just thought maybe because we were discussing the economic development funds, it may have come up as, hey, you better maybe try something, I don't know.
ISS contract and SOC discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the MOU with consultant Kevin Schultz. That has been presented to us. And this is good for May 26th through September 30 of 2026. So
Mr. Chairman, just to explain is that I had asked for help for the budget and he had also been here for several things. I think there was maybe the idea that he would be working his contract for the new CCI. I questioned if it was happening and it wasn't, and I felt like I had asked for that and it should be paid out of the ISS budget. So to do that, I just drafted a quick contract because I want to make sure I had something record of what we had decided to do with that. So it left that in there till September in case I have other questions into the future, or you guys do that you want to have Fremont County have some kind of a contract with him. So I'll get him paid off for what he has done to this point, and I do have a W-9 for him, so.
Are you all agreeable for the contract with Kevin Schultz with ISS? Micah has reviewed it and okayed it.
are you asking for a discussion on the motion?
Yep. No. Was there a motion further?
Yeah.
Yeah. Further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Okay. What about the SOC discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just history here. I did, so we've had this position as an admin assistant. When this person was hired, really is a computer support specialist. And, we had that, Justin had looked up that for us. Well, actually, Emma looked these up for us, sent a couple options to Justin. Justin said, yes, this one was very close to that. This is what he currently makes truly. And that shows you where he's in the levels here. And then, just kind of looking at where things are and he's doing. I gave you an idea, but that is just my idea. Certainly, anything probably above what he's making now would be helpful to keeping him here.
Well, I know seems like everyone I talk to says that he's a big help. Anyway. Commissioner. Current salary is 46,592. If level 2 would bring it 51,834. Level 1 would be 47,580.
I'm just saying that's where he currently sits. Is it between those two?
Right.
Down below, I just suggested not question mark. I will let you know he's been offered another job. They're in high demand if you ever figured that one out. These type of people are. But he really likes it here and so, but. And I think you're close.
Okay, what are the two numbers, Mr. Chairman?
His current salary is 46,592.
Okay.
Level 1 would be 47,580, or level 2 would be 51,834, or level 3 is 56,088.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjust the SOC, for this position from the 46,592 to the level 2, 51,834.
Second. Moving and seconded to do the salary adjustment to a level 2, 51,734 for ISS. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Budget work session.
So, Mr. Chairman, I know we sort of landed on 5% for the retirement for the employees. I told you what that dollar amount was. Did not change it at this time, but, I think I told you it was around 350. The other thing I spent my entire weekend, I swear on this, was trying to figure out who did not get $3,000. That's what I sort of heard through the SOC process.
Well, Chairman, we still have this.
What's
What are we gonna do with
is that?
the bonus? It was on the back of my packet here.
Well,
Oh, while you're not, I don't know if you're done with her. You're,
you can do hers when we're done, right?
anyway, so I went through and this is the number I came up with of those who would not have received $3,000. And this also includes benefits. And that includes all the offlines. I don't recall, I did not get that information from JP and then she was gone. So, I just did all the offlines, did not get them because I don't recall them coming. I know they replaced people, but I don't think they did any SOC adjustments. So that's 350,000. everything
everybody.
that did not get up to $3,000 in this fiscal year. And what I did is I asked for the beginning of this fiscal year through the other day of who had received. So now I have to adjust a couple that got them today. So they would be out of that, because they're above 3,000. But it's not enough to be, maybe still 350-ish. So that's what that is. And so of your $1 million that you had left over, that leaves you basically 300,000 of that extra that we had sitting out there available to do this. But I also, no matter what you do, this might be the way to do that, but I really seriously cannot wait to get this stuff to true comp. Because as you saw today, just on one job description with 1 year of experience, 3 years of experience, 10 years of experience, it's all over the place. And so the SOC part of that, letting everybody do what they feel is right, and then looking at what and I'm gonna send this to, well, when I can send this to you, maybe I'll print it before you go home today, but you need to look at what some of these folks got over the year. And I would like to see where they are on the scale now, because I know we have a lot of people in the 10th percentile and a few were in the 25, but I'll bet you we moved the needle quite a bit into the 25 percentile. So I think that's what my prayer for through comp, and they'll take like 8 weeks to just get us started. But I'm hoping that that's what we can see is like what job descriptions are what and how are they in the industry. I hear questions like, well, what does it look like for other counties? So that goes away from what we're trying to do here. We're trying to go with one scale. And so if we're gonna do that, there's no sense even doing it. We just let everybody go however they want to and just come in and go, well, in Teton County, they do this and that's what I want. So, I think we need to are we staying with the US Department of Labor for Wyoming? And
So
what to me is a fair job increase is way different than somebody else's idea. So I would love for them hopefully to give us some ideas of how we can shore that up.
and that's fair to me, and I've kind of had a time to reflect on this. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, because not everyone has come into us, but departments have come to us and asked for SOC adjustment, and we've been very generous.
Yes.
There's employees that haven't got a $3,000 increase.
Right.
That was the number I was sticking.
Right.
Several things. Maybe deservedly so. Maybe that there's a reason why that person didn't get a raise, and maybe not. Maybe they're just a new person and they're just their department head is waiting to see what they're gonna, and because the SOCs are available at any time. My thought now is to hold off on the $3,000 for the employees that didn't get one. And it should be up to their department head or their boss to bring it to us for evaluation, or not evaluation, for an adjustment or for our approval. Second of all, we haven't discussed department heads.
Right, I did not include those.
Right.
They're not included in this because I know you always do your own thing there.
So we haven't just discussed department head increases. Or adjustments. I'm not. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
My suggestion is that we leave it like it is, and we have that discussion about department heads. Maybe after we get this stuff back from
True comp.
True
True
Comp,
comp.
and then, we put 300,000 into SOC adjustments for next year. And that'll give us a little bit of a cushion. I mean, for right now.
And sort of recap too, so every employee will see more money in their pocket due to if you stick with the retirement at 5% for everybody. Law enforcement's gonna see the bigger benefits because they're already at 7 point whatever percent it is. The rest of the public employees are looking at a 1.5 or whatever it is, percent decrease. Just using a number that I used the other day, somebody with $46,000 as their salary will gain $500 with taxes and all that figured out a year. It's not huge, but I mean, so nobody's going to go backwards if you stick with the retirement side of things. And again, I have not adjusted those yet because and if you say that, yeah, we're pretty sure of that one, then I'll do that so that you can see by next week exactly what that looks like. Obviously, people who make more money will see a bigger amount of money in their pocket over time for that one.
Chairman.
Yep.
As I remember, out of the sheriff's department, the dispatch, they were just gonna go with the COLA for the dispatch. Because they didn't bring them in.
Didn't they say they thought the dispatch was already?
No.
No,
No.
well, no, they just said that they would, they
Yeah,
looked,
just
they didn't do
left-
anything for them.
They just left them to the COLA. So that means,
And honestly, there were some that did get them, but they're all administrative.
yeah,
Just
but
FYI.
the worker themselves are left out.
Yeah.
Meaning dispatch
Yes,
department.
I understand.
So I would say we need to at least look at them to receive that, because if we gave the rest of them something, then the dispatch totally out.
So if we give the two, and it wouldn't be fair to the other employees that didn't get an increase. If we gave dispatcher 3% COLA, we should have.
Right.
Everyone.
Then Chairman, I would say that what Julie had in mind, the 150,000 was most of this. I mean, she already has, looking at it in the sense of knowing what the number's gonna be for that. We might as well look at that. I mean, I hate to leave anybody out.
I do too.
So I think what I'm gonna do, because I think it will be. You need to see these numbers, I think is what I'm coming down to, is that. I'll give it to you, and you look at who did gain, quite a bit and who didn't get anything. I mean, and you seriously, all the offline boards, that's a no, and I didn't count their directors either. Cause some directors are getting pretty good money and some are on interims and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's more to be said for that. And yeah, the sad thing is that you're going to find that a lot of your lowest paying folks are on the bottom there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, and that's what you were trying to avoid, and I get that. And there's some that are not. I mean, we have a full county attorney's staff. I know last year there was a big adjustment that Mr. LeBron did, but, so you're gonna have some. Actually, there's several of those people that probably won't get, actually, when I'm looking at it right now, but there are a lot of those folks that are lower pay. And I didn't know what to do with, like, I'm getting a brand new person on Monday finally. And we just barely got to 40, so was it 43? Is it not 40? The sheriff office has vacancies, or, some of these departments have vacancies. Do they get the 4? Do they get the 3? Do they not? That's where I get really messed up, is it takes a science if it's not for everybody. So I don't know. But I could get this stuff to you and you could look at it and we can come to a final plan. And if you don't want to do something right now, so we can kind of figure it out, I get it. And I'm all in favor of that one too, to say, okay, we didn't do that. We're still working on our department heads, top line boards. Here's where you're at with,
Well,
your stuff too.
the
And
thing about that though, if we talk about department heads and don't do anything for the other employees, that causes even further separation.
no, I'm just saying you could talk about like, where are we at with rest of the folks? I mean, again, I'm hoping that you can get good information from this company that we hired to really kind of tell us you're all messed up, and how can we fix that? I mean, I'm really pushing on them to like give us some answers of, because they're gonna take all our information and say, wow, you have 3 of these, what are they? They don't even match anybody, whatever. Or here's the industry and you're way above it, or you're way below it, or everybody's in the middle of it, or you're all over the place, what are you doing? And so that's the kind of stuff that it takes a lot of time by hand to do that. I mean, Emma's a lot faster than I am, but it still takes a lot of time to put that stuff together. So, I mean, you do have the ability to make everybody get 3,000 in a decent amount of money. But I don't know what that does to some of the people with their, I don't know if that messes up the SOCs, and I would have to have some answers to department heads. You know, is that just what you want to do for them, or is it for vacancies? Is it not for vacancies? Is it somebody who I could tell they were filling a vacancy and they already put them at the higher level? So then they shouldn't get any, right?
Right, exactly.
I sort of think, I mean, I may have to talk to some departments and go, what happened here? I don't know.
Well, I think if we stay on, we just stay the way it is, we get true comp. Get those figures out, you said it'll be 6-8 weeks.
6-8 weeks for us to get all of our stuff on board with them, for them to start kicking stuff out to us.
Yeah. I mean, that's not,
And that's if we start right away.
and I mean, we can make the department head adjustments. You know, wait until then also.
And like you said, if you have somebody, so just for instance, my person does have some experience. I really should start him higher, but I'm not. But if that pans out in a couple months and these guys can actually take a vacation or a break or whatever, then I'll be back in here and going, hey, the experience is making a difference in my office, and because they already know these 2 things
Right.
that most people when I hire don't know those things, so. But if it's, I mean, if it's still allowed for people to come here, and I think what happens too is that nobody does it during the year because they're not sure, and then I'm like going, I mean, I hear complaining, as we have heard, and then I say, well, there's SOC money in there, I don't know why you're not going to the commissioners, but again, I think after you watch us a little bit, I would really like a more standard approach to how we do those levels, and maybe hopefully we'll get that information. Alrighty.
It is.
I don't have great answers for you, but I'll see if I can get you some copies, because when I just sorted this, it didn't come out very correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else you guys want to know for the budget, or want me to put
just-
into place?
Just real quick, we need to have a motion on the cloud server for ISS. And
Are we
yeah,
adding to the budget on
yeah. Add to the budget, the cloud server, Microsoft 350 or whatever it is.
365.
Sure.
Microsoft.
265, 266.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're-
Yeah. And then we can talk real quick about the other funding request. Or, I mean,
the capital revolving one?
yeah,
So if we put it all into one capital revolving,
he did.
it was all together. But I can ferret it out if you want another, whatever we decided, 20.
It would be 50,000 for the iCloud server, the 365.
Yeah.
NAS would be 20, and the additional 25,000 for the network infrastructure.
Okay.
That's what I have written down.
Right, that's what I had too. No,
Did you read it? Did you read it?
Yeah, so just
What?
95,000.
Yeah.
So
$5,000 for network infrastructure. 20,000 for NAS,
Mhm.
and I don't know what that acronym is.
That's, I don't know what NAS stands for,
but
but
that's
our main,
Server.
storage.
Oh, storage.
You know.
20,000 for that, NAS, and then 50,000 for the iCloud server.
95,000 to that budget.
Yes.
Okay, I'll wait and see if you make the motion.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I move that we increase the ISS budget by $95,000 to cover the aforementioned three things that we're gonna do.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the $95,000 increase to the ISS budget for the mentioned items in the motion. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, with that,
Okay, so we'll make that adjustment. Anything else you want me to adjust before next week? Public hearing at 5 o'clock on Monday, or 5:30 on Monday. Adoption of the budget 9:30. Fine.
I hope that, I'll go at 9 for that really has the motion, so if you can excuse me, I really need to go for this, especially if we're gonna have some of these conversations. So, I
Think
think it's what's it.
any thought processes that you want to discuss on that meeting date, so we have enough time? Then text me, I guess, because I don't know, text me with your questions so we can put them on. But, make sure we have enough time on the agenda if we need to discuss some stuff.
okay,
And if it's standard, because we have not decided on this, but.
Right.
Okay,
okay.
they just don't want 15 minutes and then we need an hour, so. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Go to lunch. Oh, no,
We're done.
recap, sorry.
Like, what do we do when we come back?
I'm thinking.
Before you go home.
Recap, sorry.
I will, leave Proworth to, put out the reading of the Declaration of Independence, on our web page and Facebook. And text my hub, I'll work with Transparent for getting that schedule next week.
Good. Commissioners,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Very good.